Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Hopefully something exciting for you today. I competed in my first competition about a week ago, and we have 2 matches, which was awesome. There were 4 guys in my bracket. The heavyweight was 206, I think, and above, so I made it. I think I'll do some reflection stuff on competition in a different video. We'll keep this one to the rolls. But I've got Coach here who's going to walk us through some of this, and yeah, hope you enjoy it.
All right, so first on, we're just gonna go through, tell us what's going on. If I have a question about what I might stop a few times to just say, like, what were you looking at? Do you remember what you were thinking about here? Yeah,
I should clarify, these are white belts and white belts. So this is not a technique video. This is a what did Rusty use and maybe should have used video.
There you go. All right, so and let's start it up.
So, for those of you that don't know, I'm hard of hearing. I'm about 60% deaf, and so as we've discovered in class too, it's hard for me sometimes to hear people tap depending on what position we're in. So I'm explaining that to him here and now. He assures me that he will touch us when someone taps. We'll evaluate that in a minute. You have an estimate on this guy?
Oh, this guy as he starts? Your opponent?
Yeah.
Well, first thing that I noticed was he was wearing a rash guard for competition. So we'll get back to that. What were you thinking when you went right there?
So you told me from the beginning, always initiate contact, step forward. So I did put hands on him. I felt like I did a snap down. I think he took a shot at the same time.
Yeah. Let's see if we can go back for a second there. So first thing that we talk about a lot in class is when you are a stand-up, especially in no-gi, you don't want to reach out. You want to keep your hands in and get your feet to get you closer. Don't use your hands and then get closer. You get closer and then use your hands. And so that was good. But yeah, I do think you're right. I think he went for the shot and you went for the snap down at the same time. So that was really good for you. Pretty much set the tone for this entire match.
So I'm spiked on adrenaline right now. So I just go to what I know, which is I'm shooting for that cradle that we've shown in the videos before. But he's got his leg out. So rather than try to pull it under, I try to circle and use the other leg instead. I see a bit of a half Nelson there, a bit of a arm control. I'm just trying to control him.
Yeah, yeah. And I think that's really important too. A lot of you guys are going to get in, and you're going to be scared of, like, if you're in this channel, you're probably a bigger guy. And so when you get into competition, when you get into classes, when you get into jiu-jitsu, you're going to be worried about using your weight, and also worried about your weight working against you. You can get over most of that. Like, you really do need to use your weight. It's a good thing. And, you know, these are heavyweights. Everybody here signed up for it. And
this guy was strong.
Oh yeah.
I wasn't ready for that. I was surprised.
And he's not. The only thing is, and you're going to have to get this too, you're probably going to be the biggest guy in your gym, or at least one of the top 3, right? And so you're going to be used to going with smaller guys most of the time and just giving them a little bit of weight. Don't. If he had gotten used to using his weight, when he got right here, he wouldn't have been putting all this pressure on him, keeping him down, and he was able to hold him down by putting his pressure on him and keeping his pressure as he goes around. So the important thing is that he didn't decide to go to the other side and pick himself up and move, or else the man below him would have gotten away. The whole time, he keeps that chest on his back, keeps that pressure on him the whole time, comes around, and the guy's not able to move. Isn't able to improve his position. And then there's
I get him on his side, and I'm pulling for the darts here. His arm is up, so I thought I was going to be able to get it on the middle of my chest well. But his hips roll him a little bit out of position for me. Here I know I don't have it, but I'm putting every ounce I have on him. Just to cook him a little bit.
Getting up on your toes.
Yeah.
Good.
So he grabs my chin here, which is a new experience, and I'm a little locked. I mean, that's a crossface, essentially, so I can't come into him. He's pulling me away. So I strip him down into north-south, and then grab back on.
All right, for big guys too, I want you to pay attention to this one thing. It's going to seem very small, but I'm going to tell you right now, it's what's going to keep you mobile. And Rusty does a great job of it right here. All right, a couple of times right about here. Yeah. All right, so I want you to pay attention to his knees. All right, you don't want you'd like to stay up on your toes, but already we're talking about bigger individuals, so it's a lot harder, a lot easier said than done. But even if you don't get up on your toes, you at least need to keep your legs under you. You need to keep yourself from getting splayed out. That's what's going to get you able to be turned over a lot very easily. It's going to where your weight will work against you. If your belly's on the ground, you're just not going to be able to move very well. But what we worked on a lot in class, and what Rusty did a great job of here, is watch his knees. He's always taking little steps to get his knees back under him. When he feels himself get out of position, right here, he goes and like right there's good, right there's good. And then...
Yeah, I'm extended right there.
Yeah, right here, right? So, boom. And the first thing he does is get back up on his knees. Don't stay in that position. Get your knees under you so that now you can get above the person. Getting your hips above them and keeping that weight on them is important.
So I went for about 7 gift wraps and he shed all of them. I think his upper body was just a triangle. It just slid right off. I'm kind of just harassing him here a little bit. I would like to get into technical mount and pull my right leg over, but he was ahead of me on a lot of the stuff I'm looking for. He knew how to defend well. He's sharp. So I'm trying to pull my right leg over for technical mount and get a gift wrap. He just slipped it into that every time.
Yeah, it turned right back into you.
The crossface.
Yeah, that crossface with his... That's another thing. Cross-facing from side control, one of the things we work on, because you're a bigger guy, it's harder to get your... if you can't get your shoulder all the way down into his face, that's good. But you see how he's got these frames already set in. And yeah, the ability to get your shoulder down is kind of taken away from you. That doesn't mean you can't use your crossface. I like the forearm crossface, especially for bigger guys. I feel like it's a good way to stop them from getting hip movement. They can't turn their body a certain way because their head is stuck in a position. So I like how you use that forearm crossface right there to keep holding them down. Ugh, that's rough.
I was grabbing his shoulder to try to keep the crossface in while looking for a head and arm setup. I'm trying to get under his head.
Yeah, he's done a really good job of when you're on your back pinned like that, keep your head on the ground. Don't look up.
So, no head and arm choke. Let's go to mount. We go to reverse scarf to try to set that up.
And he kind of gets the mount here, even though he's really kind of... Yeah, there you go. It was a good... Going into... mount doesn't always have to be that smooth. A lot of people skip the reverse scarf hold in order to get to the mount, and I really wish more people would use it, especially if you're a bigger guy. You're going to find that going just from side control and stepping over to mount, it's going to feel like it takes forever. Plus, it breaks your, it takes away one of your biggest strengths, which is your pressure on them. If you go into reverse scarf and then go into mount, you're not pulling up any of that pressure off of them and giving them the opportunity to move. You're still pinning their hips. And that's how you're able to slide into that mount position.
It helped me catch his arms too as I came back around.
Yeah, you got that one, you got that right arm underhook already.
So he fished for quarter guard, but I don't mind. That's still 3/4 mount.
Yeah, and then by doing that, he put his arm in the wrong place.
That's a tap.
And you just basically cranked that arm in the direction it didn't want to go, and that was the tap.
Yeah, I saw that elbow poking out, and it was like, I can make this go the wrong way, and so I did.
Yeah.
Now, important to note, the ref was not ready to touch us and did not touch us. And in particular, I had both of his hands tied up, so there was no actual tapping. Well, Fun times.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that was the first one. I won.
It's good stuff. It was like I said, you know, like you're using your size. But look, if you're a big guy, you're gonna have size. And if you're in a heavyweight, bracket, they're gonna have size too. Mm-hmm. So yeah, getting used to using your weight and not just automatically thinking that you're cheating it's important. I know it sounds like a silly thing to get used to, but it's really important because, you know, if a guy's smaller than you, you're not gonna ask him to slow down. All right. If you're big and not very strong, you're not going to ask the strong guy who's also big, well, you know, can you just be weaker? Right? Use what you have. It's okay.
But you can give me some free engagement right now by going into the comments and writing, "He's just laying on him." That's what all my friends have said. So, yeah. All right. That's the first one. Second one. So in my other video, I'll talk about what's going through my head right now, but I'll give you a sneak preview. I feel like I'm going against some kind of Ukrainian, Russian Spetsnaz guy right now. And I'm in my head pretty bad.
Yeah,
So I go forward, try to put hands on. I think this guy's going to be tough to get down. That's the first time anyone's tried to trip me. And the last time. So I'm thinking, I don't think I can snap him down. I'm going to try to get to his back. I'm going to keep pressure on him. I'm going to try to get to his back. Can I get under his arm? Can I get his arm jacked up? Boom.
Yeah. So you did a lot of things right there. But your main problem, like you're moving forward, that was great. You weren't extending, that was great. You kept putting pressure on his head, pulling him down, that was great. His real problem was this is a great freeze frame of it. When your head gets so far over your waist and your knees, then you're very top heavy. And if you're a bigger guy, this is how you're going to get taken down. All right. The first guy, yeah, Rusty was already trying for the snap, but he made the big error of trying to go straight in under somebody's legs. He's a big guy who can move well, the last guy, and so he probably has hit that before, and against other guys who were slightly bigger, but not as big as him, and they weren't really expecting it. Most big guys, you're not going to get the takedown by going straight in on their legs. You know, you're going to want to do many of the other options that you have. Hitting an angle if you are going for the legs is your best bet, but gosh, you know, you really need to watch out for this particular thing. The snap down is your main enemy. You want to always keep your feet under you. You want to keep a good base. You can see this other guy. You see how his butt's out behind his ankles. He's in a square stance for the most part, but he's also got a really good base still. Like if Rusty tried to snap him down, he might be able to get him to move at the hips, but he's not going to get him down to the ground at that point. So yeah, look out for a good base whenever you're doing your footwork, whenever you're standing up. You know, try to maintain a good base. Don't let your head get out in front of your knees, or else this will happen. Inside control fight was good though. That was pretty and then boom.
He's jacking my right arm up, getting his knee under my shoulder.
And this guy, you know, he was very good. He was really good at floating on top. He was really good at keeping his base farther back. His center of gravity doesn't go too far over. He feels it right there. He feels like he got a little bit too far past your center line, yeah, and he just falls right back again. He
never put a crossface on me, and he's working on my left arm exclusively right now. So I see grip under his armpit and try to jack him up.
Yeah, he's just...
I'd worked for a ghost earlier, and there was nothing there. He was too far down over me. When I've not had anybody sit that low on me in side control before. I know about 7 ways out of side control. We didn't even practice it because I feel really confident, and then I got stuck here.
Yep. And then
I get the turtle, and he helps me.
Yeah, he kind of helped you roll at a turtle because he had this set up ready to go.
And there's just fingers poking through already.
I mean, this guy's on his toes. You don't have a. You've already lost the grip fight under the chin, and he just goes straight for the headlock. And that's, that's another thing. If you're a big guy, a lot of the stuff that you're going to work, that's where you're using your whole body against their whole body, like a half guard position, or even you see how long he was able to last in the side control position. That's where you're going to be actually in your strength. And anyone who knows how to go against a bigger gentleman is going to go, or lady, is going to go attack your head. They're going to try to extend your arms. They're going to attack your legs, right? They're going to try to get all the torso aspects out of the way. They're going to get as much isolation as possible. And that's what he did. He was like, he didn't even think about taking his back. He wasn't even trying to do any mount, anything like that. He was like, got him in turtle, getting in front, attacking the head, doing a headlock series. I don't know if you know for sure what a ninja choke is. I'm pretty sure that was a ninja choke. It's basically a rear naked choke from the front. But if I'm wrong about that, enlighten me. But yeah, either way, it was basically a rear naked choke, and he started with the chin strap and slid it on, and Rusty just didn't get that 2-on-1 in time.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting a chin strap while he was on my side, and so that made me get that hand in late, because I was looking for it to come in from the side for a seatbelt. So it came in late here. I had his hand, and I'm like, all right, all I got to do is pull it off. It's okay. Then he's around my head. I'm like, it's fine. I still got the hand, and then it wasn't fine anymore. It just slid through. I thought I still had it because I had a good grip on his hands, but...
Well, did you have a grip on his hand, or did you have it more on like a wrist?
It was his wrist and forearm.
Yeah, and that was it. Like, grabbing the hand and taking the hand off has to be like an automatic. But when you grab the wrist and then he's able to slide his hand into his own arm, well, now grabbing that wrist, it's going to be much harder to pull that hand out of this position than it is just to pull it down off of his chin. He has your chin strapped like that. You can grab his wrist and pull it down. Grabbing the fat part of the thumb right there, the meaty part of under your thumb is a good place to grab, turn, pull down, grab the wrist, pull it down. But once they've slid through and you're just grabbing the wrist, and now he hooks it in like that.
You have to release that lock first, right?
Yeah. It's a... Yeah, I mean, you end up having to fight, instead of fighting the chin strap, or you end up having to almost fight it like it is a rear naked choke. You have to pull the arm down and pull that out, and it's a much harder one to get. You want to get it before they slide it through, right? So the second that you feel that on your hand, or that hand on your chin, you really want to not just grab it and hold it there, so you feel like you have control of it, but actually like pull it down. And I like to get it on the other side of my head. That's what I'll do. So... Yeah, I mean,
his squeeze though was nasty. It was good. We'll give him his arm raise here real quick.
Yeah,
I look like Anna waking up and frozen, and my hair everywhere.
Yeah,
the light coming back into my eyes.
And that guy.
No, dude was sharp, and I called him afterwards too and asked him what he did. And then we talked a little bit more later, and it was a good dude. That was the encouraging part. These guys are awesome.
Yeah,
it was fun.
Yeah, you get a lot of different people at competitions, and for a white belt competition, especially for his first one, I'm glad he didn't go against some guy who was thinking that he was going to win a white belt competition and join the UFC the next day. Because you see that a lot.
So,
yeah.
So I walked away with silver, and I'm more than thrilled. So we have. It was the first time I've gotten to go what I think is 100%. I felt safe in side control. I felt stuck, but safe, and that was cool. I suppose I could have ridden it into overtime, but that's boring.
Oh yeah, I don't know if he said this earlier or not. This was a sub-only tournament. There was no points there.
Yeah.
So yeah, and that's the thing. Like, in a sub-only tournament, I would rather that you stayed safe in side control than that you got to this point in your own head where you feel like you have to improve your position, and so you'll do stupid things in order to improve your position. And you could say maybe going into turtle isn't the best move, but you know, we worked a lot of things from turtle. I mean, when you're another thing about being a big guy is turtle is actually a pretty strong, can be a pretty strong position for you, because you really have to worry mostly about having your head attacked and not so much them being able to pull you in, take your back, and go for the rear naked choke. I mean, if you have wide hips, getting those just turning you over, it becomes a completely different game. So yeah, it was just a matter of the guy was good and he was sharp, you know. And I think now is probably a good time to just talk about this real quick. If you're watching this video and you're thinking to yourself about joining and you're seeing guys like this, while he was good, you have to understand that there's competition jiu-jitsu, and then there are like the 5 or 6 other reasons why you would think about getting into a jiu-jitsu class, right? These are great for a challenge. And if you want to end up being a competition guy, then, you know, Godspeed. But don't think that this is what it's all about, all right? A competition guy is a guy who's going to come in, he's going to train 3 to 5 times a week. He's going to, when he's not training, he's eating right, he's dieting, he's doing exercises, he's trying to build a strength, he's trying to build explosivity. He doesn't mind if he gets hurt in training, he accepts that as part of the deal, which is a big difference right there. Like a lot of guys there, I want them to come in, not get hurt, so that I can see them tomorrow. Yeah. You know, a lot of guys come in, they don't want to get hurt so they can go to work. Like, you know, these are important aspects to keep in mind. So if you're just in it for the love, you're in it for the the exercise, you're in it for the self-defense. Self-defense is a completely different thing than competition as well, because a lot of the things that you would do in a competition, I wouldn't ever suggest. Like 90% of leg lock setups and pulling guard and all of that, very important for competition, completely unnecessary and probably a bad idea in most aspects of self-defense. So, you know, this is just one shade of the entire rainbow, and you don't need to do competition. You don't need to put yourself in that situation if that's not what you want to do. It is nice to go out there. Rusty wanted to know what it's like to do it. He did it, you know.
I wanted to see if I could.
Yeah, and
I about threw it right before it.
And yeah, and look, and if you're in a small town, a lot of these competitions, there's only going to be like one guy like this guy. You know, you're going to go to it's pretty common to enter a low-level jiu-jitsu tournament with very little jiu-jitsu and come out with a bronze medal, right? Getting another guy who's in the same situation as you, and you're going to win a medal for that. You know, you only have like 3 or 4 guys in your bracket. You go out there, you get the experience, you get the medal. That's cool. But I understand if you're trying to go for gold, or if you're thinking, well, my school's horrible because none of our guys went well. You know, none of our guys got gold medal. None of us finished first. And it's like, well, did you have a competition team? You guys going in there working 3 to 5 days a week? If not, I mean, that's not a reflection on your school. It's more of a reflection on your choice of school. So, you know, keep those things in mind. I was real proud of him. He did great. He did for a white belt level, he did a lot of the things that I liked. His transitions were there. When he was on the ground, he was keeping his weight on the guy. He wasn't just trying to just smother him and lay on top of him. While it's a useful thing, it shouldn't be your only tool. So, yeah, that was a good time. Good job. All right.
Well, hope this is encouraging, guys. Get out there, test yourself if you want to. But either way, I was coming back on Monday to keep training. So that's what it's about.
There you go.
So I hope you enjoyed these. I don't know when I'll be able to get more rolling stuff up, but this is you won't see me doing 100% most of the time. So with that, we'll catch you next time.